I'm going to talk about today really got me excited last night when I was preparing. And yes, I do prepare. Last night when I was preparing, I just couldn't leave it alone because right before my very eyes, I had the answer to a lot of things that's been bugging me about this year. And I got to tell you, this has been a tough year for me. One of the toughest years I've ever traded. I don't know if it's just I try to maybe sometimes try to do too much, but I know that it hadn't been easy. But we're about to embark on a trip together that is probably the reason we're still in business from 1996. My eyes were open last night, and what I'm going to share with you today and throughout the coming trade days and the coming months, you're going to love. And I always try to solve issues and sometimes my own issues, and I'm not good at it. I had to talk to people. And last night I called one of our students, Roger Vasco. Roger, are you here this morning? And I said, Roger, it's been right here in front of me. We got to talk because Roger is a forward-thinking guy. He's a guy that looks out and sees a big picture, always positive, and a pleasure to be around. I was so excited. I called Pete Simmet this morning. Pete, are you here? And I said, Pete, you got to come to this thing this morning. I called Charlie Prince. Hello, Pete. I called Charlie Prince, said, Charlie, please come this morning. Drop what you're doing and come. And the reason I did that is because these guys have been with me a long time. They supported me thick and thin. And I wanted them to hear this presentation. And all the rest of you, I appreciate you. So let's get started. I'm going to put a clock. Adam, put a clock up there for an hour. 1 hour if you'll put a clock up there, and I'll get started. It started Thursday night. And Thursday night was a rough night for me because Thursday day was a great day for me. I mean, I knocked it out of the park, took a couple laps around the globe, and I thought that I was conquering the world. And then Thursday night, I had a Russell contract on. And I had sold a call against the Russell, and it closed 4.5 points in the money. And I learned something. And I thought it was going to be called away because the option expired. What I learned was that particular option did not expire to the next Friday's close. And that took me about 3 hours, finally calling the ICE exchange and talking to the head of the market control there to get somebody to tell me how it worked, because it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. You know, market's about hedging. Market's about having a door. And I stayed up all night Thursday night using everything I've learned in 30 years to keep myself hedged until I could get some daylight. And finally I figured out I will never, you know, when you sell options, and I want you to understand this, you're taking an obligation. When you buy options, you have a right. And that came home to root for me because I had sold an option. I didn't know the close on that Friday. If it was above a number, I need to have the contract. If it's below the number, I don't need to have the contract. But what I'm trying to tell you is that I'll never do a Russell call option again, not until they change the rules. It's out of whack. And I love to trade the Russell, and I'm trading the Russell right now. I'm just doing it a different way because right now small caps are outperforming big caps, and we're long IWM. It's an ETF. But I wanted to share that with you because even after all these years, I continue to learn. So let's look at what I want to start out with before I get into my presentation. Let's go to the desktop, and I'm going to make it small where I can see it up here on the screen. You can see this. If you want to make it big, you can. But we have software here that's called seasonal software. Apple Computer, I bought it at $7. And I've been playing the 5-year trend in Apple and been very secure. If you look at these two lines right here, the green line and the red line are a historical mark on Apple Computer. They're the 5-year and the 28-year line. And up to this point right here, which was, let me do this real quick and give you the exact date, it crossed. Up to this point right here on October the 8th, Apple was fat, dumb, and happy. Buy it, watch it go higher. Apple crossed this line here. And I want to show you this because this was something I didn't discover because I looked at this at the first of the year when I planned the year and everything's going great. But Apple crossed that line. And since that time, Apple has performed miserably. All the timing techniques I've used over years did not work. Here, let me show it to you. Thanks for asking. Here's the line I'm talking about right there. See that black line crossing? That's a warning sign. I won't make that mistake again. You see that line? And look where Apple's trading right now. It's deviating from its 28-year history. I want you to keep that in mind as we get into next year, okay? It's very important. Now, that is Apple. That's one stock. A lot of y'all trade Apple. I trade Apple. I've traded Apple for years, but it's one thing that I'm now putting into my thinking with Apple, okay? If you look back to August, it's right above the two lines, going right along. We're fat, dumb, and happy to October 11th. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the point I'm making. Now, does everybody get that change? Does everybody see that picture of that change in that particular stock? Because that's been important, and that's an important recognition. Okay, now, what I want to do, and if you look down here and you go down, the price level Apple was at when it made that change was $5.55. If you look back here, and it tells you on October the 11th, let me do this real quick. On the research key of the Roadmap software, if you go back to October 11th, you will see the 555 opening. Write that line down. That is the mark in the sand for Apple. Write that number down. If you take nothing else out of that chart, take those numbers. 555. All right, now let's go. That's looking in history. Let's look into next week. Let me show you something that's pretty cool. First of all, let me change my research key by putting a SPY in here. And we'll change the font where you can see it. That's a SPY. That's the S&P 500. Now, let's go over to this software and put the SPY in. Okay, if you look at the SPY and you look at where we're trading and you look at the market, the SPY is, which is the S&P 500, 75% of all stocks follow the S&P 500. If you look at the black line, it is above the 5-year and the 19-year average, and everything, we're fat, dumb, and happy. Matter of fact, I've been telling everybody, January, February, March of next year, look for a bear market to start, and we'll confirm it when this line here breaks that line there. Okay? Now, Let me be clear. I'm going to talk about the DAX. I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff. But I thought when I get something that will help you be a better trader, I don't want to keep it to myself. I want you to get it and think about it. Okay? Now let's look further into this because we're going to talk about the future. Now, no one can predict the future, but I want to show you something. If you look down here and you look at these percentages of moves, okay, and you go to $10 days. I'm looking for December. Notice what I'm looking for. 10 days, 14 days. I still don't see any December. Let me go to 21 days. There it is. Well, hold it. Let me find it here for us because this is important. Let's go to 30 days. There it is. There it is. The latest date there, November the 26th. November the 26th. Now, this takes a little math, okay? You go down to November the 26th, and you get a price of, on the SPY, you get a price of November the 26th, 141.05. Write that price down, 141.05. Okay? And then you come over to this software and you look at the average gain, and the average gain is 4%. So you multiply 104 times 141 times 104, and it projects to 146.64. Write that down, 146.64. So, do I have any of my TWTers in here? What am I long as of Friday afternoon? You see how you double your money on that one? Anyway, I wanted to show you these two things before I started my presentation. I want to thank you for bearing with me. It gives you something to think about, and I want to move into the presentation now. This is our location here in Mobile, Alabama. We built this building in 2001. I'm in it right now. I'm broadcasting from that corner office, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Risk involved in everything that I talk about or trade. Risk is personal. I tell people, I can pick the horses, but you have to be the jockey. Now, our school is defined by teaching you to do that. Level 1 through level 5. We keep your education in an uptrend, and we keep you moving. Part 1 of today's presentation, emotions in trading. How many people have this reaction? And I want to teach you something in emotions in trading. You get upset when you lose. Tell me if you get upset when you lose. I think getting upset when you lose is a natural reaction. But here's the two. One is a winner's course. The other one is a loser's course. I lose. When I lose, I go back to the basics and go back to how I got here. That's a winner's course. And that's why I've been doing this for 30-something years, and I learned that the hard way. You've got to work even harder when things are not going good. And this works not only in trading, but in real life. Losers like blaming and never taking responsibility. And if you do that, you'll never get across the finish line. That's a short course in emotions in trading. Part 2. The organization of DTI is designed to teach you to use checklists in your analysis. Because if you're like me, I forget stuff. So I keep 2 books. One book is the aha moments. What I showed you at the beginning of this presentation was an aha moment. The other book is a checklist that I use to determine long, short, or out. And I do that because that's what works. It's the way I've been able to transfer what I've learned, the skill of trading, to other people. So I established key numbers. Key numbers is the code of the market. I will tell you right now, for the S&P 500, and I'm using the futures here, there's 3 numbers you got to know going into next week. You want to write these down? This is based on the March S&P. The first one is 1407. The second one is 1416. And the last one is 1460. Now, I'm going to give you a second for somebody to type those numbers in there, because those are the numbers that are going to help guide you through what's happening next week. Simple, straightforward, but those are the numbers. Now let's talk about the best time to trade. We have identified the normal times to trade. The normal times to trade during the day are, write this down, 8:30 to 10:30, 12:30 to 1:15, 2:30 to 3. That's the normal time to trade. When I look at next week, the best time to trade is Wednesday, the day of the week, Wednesday, and 10:30. That's the best time to trade during the week. That hour is the best hour to trade. Write that down. I'll wait till you get that in there. Central Time, Tim. Now, knowing this going into Sunday night allows me to plan my week. 10:30 on Wednesday takes into account where the current market is, where it's going, and the odds of time. Remember, time is the key ingredient here. 10:30 on Wednesday. Now, what do you trade? You trade either futures, you trade either stocks, or you trade options, or all 3. I trade all 3. And so what I'm looking at is how to get positioned. Already started on Friday. I'm moving into next week. I've got a plan. Wednesday at 10:30, is the heart of that plan. Future stocks and options. Planning for 2013. On Thursday night at 7, I will lay out January for 2013. So even though the week and the year and everything's still before us here, we got all these days, I still got to look ahead to next year, which is January of 2013. I'm going to give you a couple concepts and statements right now. I want you to write these down. Livermore said, has everybody heard of Livermore, first of all? Here's a great book you can read, and it will help you in your trading. I read it every year this time, from cover to cover. But Livermore said that the way you tell a trend is changing in the market is when the leaders start falling, i.e., Apple Computer. I showed you the chart at the very beginning. I believe, and this is something you'll learn from me, bull and bear markets historically change and start in 2 months out of the 12. March and October are the 2 months. Sorry about that. March and October. Yes, the book title is The World's Greatest Stock Trader by Richard Smitten. Give yourself a Christmas present and get that book. It's a great book. That's when bull markets end and bull markets start. Traditionally, those are the 2 months. So I believe by January, February, and March, we will go from a bull to a bear. And that's going to require a change in thinking and a change in your way you approach the market, if I'm right. Now, even though I believe that, I want to warn you. I wish I could throw a big stop sign up that would say the following. Make sure the numbers justify what I'm saying. But if I see it, that's the way I'll play it. I want you to think big picture, and I want you to think of where we are now. I'm bullish right now, but I'm looking for a change. Okay. Let me stop right now and ask a question. Are you enjoying my approach to this webinar this morning? It's probably not what you expected when you showed up, but I'm here on a Saturday, and I'm trying to give you stuff that's going to help you. If I can help you, then I did a job. If you're not enjoying this, then I can't do any better than this. You probably wasted your time with me. I'll just tell you up front. Part 3. The details. The first thing that we do at DTI is we prepare a weekly market planner. Our students are well aware of this. It's okay to have the weekly planner in front of you. Now, in the weekly planner, we put this out, and we put it out for the week. We put it out. It goes to every DTI student every Monday morning. If you look, it defines timing, talks about potential trades like the dollar in this case, but it's a very good planning tool to start your week with. It also gives you numbers. And these numbers are what we call the ES ladder. But you get this, you keep it near your desk, and it helps guide you in things. Remember other night when the y'all remember other night when the market, the S&P sold down? How low did it go on that night? Y'all remember? I do, because I had the weekly planner with me. It went to $13.91. Now, if that's not valuable to have around your desk, I don't know what you're keeping around your desk, but having this ladder is very valuable. And here's another way it displays it. And you start seeing the numbers that help you understand the code of the market. How do we work for you? We have software. You saw a little glimpse of it. I don't have all day or all week or all month or all year right now. That is something you have to take in small bites because our software is an elephant, and you have to take it one bite at a time. That's what it looks like, and it guides me in every trade I do. The trade room. Do I have any members of the trade room in here? The trade room is open 24 hours a day. It's open on Sunday night. The trade room is our interactive learning center and trading center that allows you to get questions answered about the market. Other night during the fiscal cliff shenanigans, the real value of the trade room came to the top because we had expert traders in there analyzing the news, the market, and helping other people. We like to say the trade room is there, traders helping traders. We do 5 formal sessions a day in the trade room, and we teach the DTI approach to understanding the market. This year, the trade room has produced about $30,000 for people that followed the trades in there. And by the way, that's with a one lot, and that's kept up by a student, not by us. The playbook. The playbook is what told Jeff Smith, our chief instructor, to be short on Thursday night before the news. It was the equilibrium trade that's counted in our software and in the playbook that told him to go short. Did anybody here at DTI, either through the after hours program or through the software, play the equilibrium trade Thursday night? Post in here your success story. It was a great trade. Our manual gives you that guide. Education is important, and it's important because you got to continue to educate yourself if you're going to stay on top of this game and be in that 5% of those traders that make money. We teach at DTI online and in person. How does the trade room work for members? I talked about the instructors we have in there, the professional guidance. I talked about a lot of things. All right, folks. This is the roadmap software. And real quickly, what you're looking at is the way I've got my own personal workstation set up. I've got the open, the last, the net open, the high, and the low. Across the top, I don't like sitting in front of a computer. And I keep track of things I'm interested in. And I want to show you a little video, and then I'm going to go through each of these markets, and I'm going to start. Here's what we're going to do next. I've got 27 minutes, so I'm going to show you a short video I made for the students to give you an overview, and then I'm going to start out with the DAX, and I'm going to go into other markets. Okay? So let's get the framing program first.
I want to show you a couple tools that I'm using during this volatile market that maybe will give you some insights on how to trade these volatile markets. A couple tools that I've added. Let's start with the E-mini up here at the top. If you see the E-mini today, it had a high of 1431.50. If you look at our magenta bar right here, we knew that at about 5 a.m. this morning that was going to be a resistance point. And then once the market broke the lower end of this RB frame at 1417, it went into a sell. So if you were to use this RB frame and use that trigger point, resistance up here to be long, followed by the pivot right here at 1418, followed by the sell signal. You could have called it both ways. I'm using this very effectively right now, and I would encourage you to practice with it. It's good for the E-mini or any market you want to check. It's also good if you look at the stocks, and Apple Computer's been plaguing a lot of people, including me, and I brought this tool online and started using it. But look at Apple. Apple went right to the resistance point of the RB frame and then broke the pivot number, went into a sell, and then went down to our sell target on the compass. But these are a couple tools that's right inbound. All you have to do is go over, take your cursor, go over to the little toolkit here, click it, RB frame, and midpoint, and you're ready to go. Load this on your computer for next week's trading. Watch it. Use the top part as resistance, the middle point is the pivot area, and the bottom part as the break. And it works good for stocks, gold, anything you want to trade. Plug this in, practice with it next week. I'll do some more training, but I wanted to get this out to you over the weekend to look at and just go through some markets that you're interested in. But here's the E-mini and Apple Computer. Everybody have a great weekend, and I'll see y'all next week. But load this into your roadmap, and I think you're going to be really, really happy as you follow the action in a live market. Thank you very much. This is Tom Busby.
Wow, I was talking and I didn't take the speaker thing off. Sorry about that. Okay, the first market I'm going to talk about is the DAX. Who trades the DAX? Who's traded the DAX with me? I have a DAX class that I teach. I enjoy the DAX. I looked at my short-term trading. I trade the DAX 90% of the time. Why? It pays more, and I don't have to spend a lot of time doing what I want to do. Now, as Peter says, it's a secret weapon. Let me give you the overview. The DAX opens at 1 a.m. in the morning. It's open at 3 o'clock. Usually, the first trade that I trade, and she's just a new member of our DAX class. Good job, Leslie. But the first trade I will trade normally in the morning on the DAX is about 4 a.m. The second trade, I do a lot of trading around 6 a.m. in the morning. I do trading at around 7:30 in the morning, 9 o'clock, and then 10:30. Then I don't trade the DAX until the last part of the day, and that's usually between 2:30 and 3 because the DAX will forecast where we're going, if you know what you're looking at. And let me repeat, Sarah, Central Time. You haven't read my book, have you? Somebody post my book in there where Sarah can get a copy. All right, Now, that's the overview of the DAX. It's 25 euros. And if you know what you're doing, you can make your living off the DAX. You can trade as many contracts as your heart will allow you. And you can trade virtually nonstop from Sunday night to Friday. By the way, of note, we just moved into the March contract. The March contract is the primary contract we're trading, and what you're looking at is a DAX chart. Now, let's talk about where the DAX is right now. It closed on Friday at 76.58. If you look at the DAX, it's in an uptrend from the sell-off Thursday night. And the key thing for me is, do we go above 76.90, 76.90 on Sunday night? That's the key number that I'll be looking at on the DAX for my first trade of the week. Now, the DAX has numbers inside the DAX that are, some are better than others. And the DAX has been very beneficial when I trade the other markets. Can everybody see the roadmap? 76.91. Okay, now, any questions about Monday's trade on the DAX? You see it above 76.91, you're probably going to be bullish, and you ought to be ready to rock. Everybody see that? Now, over here in the compass, and by the way, the DAX is up about 25% this year, just for those that are keeping track of its power. All right. Now, since this is a short webinar, I got more to cover. Let's play a little game we play. Give me a stock that you're interested in. I'll show you how fast this tool works. Amazon. Amazon is bullish and should get strong next week. And if you're long Amazon, you should get paid into Thursday. And this is what all this tells me in here. So Amazon might be a good option play, might be good. Let me take another one real quick just to show you. CAT. Okay, I hadn't looked at CAT in a while. Let me look at CAT. CAT is Caterpillar. I've traded it many times this year. Been in a downtrend. And this is another example of what I'm talking about. It's a leading company. Let's look at it on a daily chart. If you don't ever see Caterpillar go higher, 94.28, and then goes below $70, and write that number down on Caterpillar. If it goes below 70, we're probably entering a pretty good bear market. All right, DSW. Who's familiar with DSW? I'm long this stock. This stock, they're selling a lot of women's shoes right now. Remember that software I showed you at the very beginning? If you plug DSW in there, its best time to buy DSW is February. Write that down because I researched it over the weekend. February on DSW. All right. I got a couple requests for ISG, ISRG. I don't trade this stock. I'm going to look at a daily. You see this stop break, 479, it's going a lot lower. Last one I'm going to do this morning, in the interest of time, we'll do some more next week for you, but in the interest of time, it's Fire. Fire is a stock I've been long since 25. I've added to it. I bought some more because I'm looking for $49 to $50 before the end of the year. And that should happen next week. I bought it at 45, what, about 3 or 4 days ago, again. And I'm looking for 50. Gets to 50 next week, I call way to go Fire. Thank you for asking about Hershey. I will do Hershey because you asked about it. Hershey is one of my timing stocks. I would tell you to get long Hershey Monday morning and hold it to the 1st of February under normal conditions. You should make some money. Hershey, I've been trading it for over 4 years. I think it's going bigger. All right, let me get back to my presentation, but I wanted to give you a glimpse of that. I could be here all day, but I can't, but I got to finish this presentation. All right, the trade room gives our students and members a chance to earn while you learn. I strongly believe that those of you that didn't get football scholarships, you ought to get a trading scholarship, and we do that day in and day out studying the market here at DTI. If you look at this, this is a log that was put together by one of our students, and it basically tells you from December to now how consistent we are with what we're doing. Some pretty nice numbers there for a one-lot trader. Total's about 30,000. Yeah, Eric, all that's available to you. You have 24 access to our trade room. I've got over 200 years of experience inside there. And where can you go to that kind of expert advice on a day-to-day basis? Five formal sessions per day. Well, thank you, Will. That's real training going on every day. There's some challenges in trading, isn't there? What we did is put together what I call one of the best packages ever, because these are the things I see students and everybody having problems with. Stop placement. Who has been on the right side of a trade and get stopped out of it only to feel the pain of seeing it go where you originally intended it to go? Nothing makes me sicker than analyzing the market, interpreting the market, and finally putting my hard-earned money into the market and then seeing me stopped out. Who else has challenges with stops? Thank you, Robert. How about discipline? Having a plan. You know, if you got a plan, you're able to go into the market and make things work. So we're, you know, it's really sort of boring sometimes. Like I told people today in this webinar, next Wednesday at 10:30 is where the action is. That's when I plan on loading the boat. And we'll do this right here in the trade room during that time period. But stops can be very hard. Discipline is very important. I've got some techniques that will help you. We talked a little bit about emotional control. Having emotional control is very important because you got to stay positive. That's why when I see negative stuff, I run. And so I give people this advice. If you got some friends that bring you down, get new friends. Now, most people think that order types, buy here, sell there, is pretty simple. Wrong. 95% of the people think that. 5% of people know proprietary techniques, how to put orders in, how to use orders, the types of orders to use in certain situations. That's what separates you, knowing how to put those orders in. Entry and exit. You know, it doesn't do me any good to tell you I'm long fire from 25, but if I can show you why I went long fire at 25 and then know and tell you where I'm going to exit, then you've learned something and you can do it for yourself. Let me go back to what I said. Let me go back to what I said. I'll pick the horses and help you with my experience. You got to be the jockey. Why should you join our trade room today? Well, we put together a package because you're here on Saturday, and we put it together where you will learn what to do. We put together DVDs dealing with what we call the super trade room to let you listen to and go over. So, we start your subscription January 1st. We give you access to our roadmap. You watch analysis of the trades, long, short, or out. You're part of that professional trading community. And then we do special education like at earnings and things like that. And oh, by the way, did I tell you about the holiday webinars? Anybody at my July 4th holiday webinar? My Thanksgiving webinar? These are webinars that are staples of DTI's trade room. Our super trade room package. This is the best-selling package this year, 2012, we've had at DTI. I believe because you get a lot of value and you're able to get a lot of information that you can absorb on a schedule that fits you. So here's what you get. 12 months in the trade room. You get 3 proven techniques for stop placement. We're going to solve that problem. We're going to give you 5 steps to pick stocks that you follow the checklist. If you're an engineer, Jeff's going to teach you how he did it. If you're a non-engineer, I'm going to teach you through a DVD how you got to think. We're going to take Chuck Crow's Night Owl, a weekly planner, and show you how it works and all the information about it. The Early Bird is a class that I do every morning from 5 to 7. I'll be there Monday morning, by the way. And, of course, emotional control is covered in our long-running penalty tape, how to avoid the emotional traps of trading. Now, what else could you ask for? Anybody else got anything they could ask for? You get it all today for $9.99. If you sign up today, You can attend the 4 classes I'm going to teach next week as my bonus to you for signing up today. That's right. You're going to get to watch how I do the DAX and how I make it pay. I got 4 classes scheduled next week, 30 minutes long. Now, to register, go down to this link, pick it up, buy it. Now, you saw that seasonal software. If you sign up for the package, we'll give you a 30-day trial where you can use it, but you got to, we had to call because they do charge for that, and we're going to waive that 30 days to let you play with it. So come join us. This is your chance to kick the tires. This is your chance to be with us and learn. I want to thank everybody for coming. Absolutely, BC. You're more than welcome for next week because I'm going to be trading with I'm going to be trading, and I'm going to be trading the way that I talked to you about today. All right. So we're going to put some music on here, and I'm going to go to the piano. Y'all see that clock up there? I forgot to tell you about my chicken, fish, or steak, didn't I? All right, listen to this piano while you join DTI. All right, folks, I had a couple questions there. Yes, you will get the rest of this year will be free. Your subscription actually starts January 13th, or not January 3rd, January 1st. That's my birthday, January 13th. But what our game plan is, I want to come on here and show you our plan when that clock runs out for next week. So hang around. Even if you don't join us, you ought to hang around because we've got a pretty good plan for next week. I'm going to take a few minutes and cover that. And, you know, our goal is to help you. And I think that I enjoy being here. I do this every year. This is my annual Saturday that I come on. And it's pretty good. Mark, call here. They'll explain it to you. I want to, you know, we got to help you the best way we can. And you got to tell us, you know, how we can do that. But I know that this super trade room package, the response that we got from it, and we try to help you. Mark, we're a comprehensive training school. A lot of people like to trade stocks. We got specialties there. A lot of people like to trade options. We got specialties there. We've got a lot of good things here. We really got, you know, we've been doing this since 1996, so this is not our first rodeo. This is the super trade room package. And I don't think, you know, if you come in here and you see this and, you know, it's what it is. We trade currencies. I got a euro trade. I'm trading next week here, mine, and I'm doing that also. So Sunday night we'll kick off at 5 o'clock. We have what we call the circle, and the circle is where the instructors get there on Friday night at 5 and sort of tell you what they're thinking. And, you know, it's just real important that you see this thing in operation. I know a lot of you out there probably didn't know who to call or what to do Thursday night. You have moments like that in the market, and I'm not sure we won't have more next week. But to keep everything simple, we decided not to start the subscription until January 1st of next year and allow you to do that. And I forgot one thing I should have told you, and I wish it was on the slide. Jeff Smith, our chief instructor, holds an interactive webinar with you that goes over all these, and he'll hold that sometime in January to allow you to get the questions answered from the DVDs. So anyway, I think we're doing good, and let me check. You can call here 800-745-7444, and I want to come back and cover a few things. Give me, Adam, put 3. I want to get another. Adam, put 3 minutes up there. I want to get another cup of coffee. All right, I know I covered a lot today, and I was trying to give you an overview, but let me tell you, if there's something that maybe that you got questions about, I want to give you my personal email address, tbusby99@gmail.com, and send me an email. And if you send an email, include your phone number, and I might just call you if I can't get back to you with an email, because I sometimes just like to call people and talk to you. So that's my email. You know, if there's something I covered, you got questions about our program, or just any question at all that I can help you with, and I'll get back with you in 48 hours, okay? I will get back with you, okay? That's definitely what I'll do. Now, here's our schedule, and I want you to look at this. Sunday night at 7 p.m., we have a weekly planning session in the events room Sunday night. At 8 o'clock, I have a TWT meeting, and that's where we'll plan our week in detail with my TWTers. They seem to think that's invaluable. We do it every Sunday night when the schedule permits, and I'll be there Sunday night laying out the week. Monday, December the 24th, in the trade room, Neil Yeager will be doing a webinar on how to trade news. That will happen for the members of the trade room at 11 o'clock on Monday. Do you see the green number up there that says 57%? 57? Y'all see that? Over the last 10 years, the S&P has been up 57% of the time on Monday. Tuesday is Christmas Day. Merry Christmas again to everybody. The schedule in the trade room, I'll be there Monday at 5. Wednesday, I have a 6 o'clock DAX class. This is probably this is a key class to make some money on Wednesday. 10:30, I have a TWT Power Hour. 7:30 p.m. that night, we'll be doing Late Night Wow, the evening edition. And 8:30, we move roadmap training from Monday to Wednesday due to the holidays. It's typically on Monday. It'd be at 8:30. Chuck Crow will be doing the roadmap training. 9 o'clock, we'll have the Night Owl, which happens Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday night, obviously, we're closed. If you notice up there, on Wednesday, the probabilities are over the last 10 years, Wednesday has been a update, 81% of the time. Remember that? Remember I told you 10:30 on Wednesday was a key time? I like to take these percentages and see, based on structure, whether they're going to follow history. Thursday, we got 11 a.m. student interview. This is always entertaining, talking to our students. And 7 p.m. that night, we have our first 2013 webinar for all our students on Thursday night at 7. Notice we got 57% markets up on that day. Friday, we have Fun Friday, 9 a.m., 66% of the time. This will be where we bring all our instructors in. Every one of our instructors will make about a 10-minute presentation, so you'll get to meet our instructors. Meet the faculty day is what we call it, 9 a.m. Friday. That's next week. That closes out the last week of the year, and that's our schedule. Now, if you send me an email, I'll get back to you within 48 hours. If you take the time and fill out this survey, I will give you a copy of my audio book if you take the time and fill out that survey. I want to thank everybody for being here. I hope you got something out of this. It wasn't just your typical webinar. It had a little bit of plan, it had a little bit of knowledge, and it had a lot of fun. So I'm going to play a song, and hopefully this defines Yeah, the name of the book I told you to get was The World's Greatest Stock Trader, written by Richard Smitten. And as Tim said, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Hey, Kelly. Yes, somebody that we're open at night, and we do have a couple ways to help you. Send me a email and tell me about the question you asked, and how I can contact you, and we'll talk. You got to be a member, Iman. I can't give it away. I can't give you everything I've learned over 30 years. You wouldn't expect that, would you? Hope you enjoyed the webinar. I had a lot of fun doing it. I was excited about it, and I'm sorry it's a little loud, but I guess I get loud when I get excited. Just me. Jeff, I'll be there Sunday night with bells on, 5 o'clock. Don't be late. Well, like I said, if you're negative, I'm not your guy. Thanks, Michael. We got a lot of good people, and we work at it. It's just not me. Thanks, Delbert. Is Doris here? Doris, thanks for that jelly you sent me. I really appreciate that, Doris. Kelly was back there digging into it. Thanks, Amon. It's so funny. When I used to be a stockbroker, I never got any presents. But now, it's like we're like FedEx here at DTI with all the stuff that comes in. I love this job. I love working with you. If that doesn't come across, let me be clear. I love teaching you to avoid the mistakes I made and the ones I will make. Yes, if you fill out the survey, you'll get a free copy of my audio book. Yep, absolutely. Somebody, before I go, let me know some of the students in here, some of the long-term ones. Just type in how many years you've been involved with DTI. I think it tells people we're the real place to go to. Thank you.